So,
Yeah.
Sadiq Khan, time's up for him by the looks of things.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, some pretty major things have happened. Pretty major things. Now, this topic is, a little bit sensitive here and there, so we'll try and be as sort of cautious as possible, I guess.
Okay.
But basically, Sadiq Khan appears to have been covering up some of those lovely groups of individuals that prey on young, white, working class, sort of dispossessed, poor, down and out girls.
Okay.
Grooming gangs, basically.
Covering it, actively covering it up.
Yeah, actively covering it up. So we did. Tell you what's interesting, right? I don't know if you remember. We did a segment here, I don't know, maybe a month ago, where we said that was that whistleblower that had a lot of this evidence, right? Evidence to say that he had been covering it up. And we were like, wow, like imagine if this starts to, maybe there's some traction here. Well, there wasn't any at the time. There wasn't any at the time, but there has been further now, more stuff.
Okay.
So quite an interesting turn of events. And it actually comes from, there you go, from the Express of all places, effectively.
Okay.
But the Daily Express has effectively uncovered the actual evidence of them, but also evidence to the effect that Sadiq Khan would have seen this evidence and just out and out denied it when he was asked by, I think it was Susan Hall, wasn't it, in the London Assembly. You remember that? Oh, I don't even want to remind everyone about that horrible video of him playing dumb about these gangs. So we'll just read a little bit of this and kind of get to it because there's been another development on this, right? Just advert to play. So Sadiq Khan has been accused of covering up evidence of these kind of gangs in London after an Express investigation. The Mayor of London read reports of young girls being raped in hotels by groups of men, certain men, while publicly denying there was any grooming gangs in the capital, but specifically denying any evidence of it. Right? That's the important thing.
So
the
that
children
that would rise to the level of lying. Then actually full blown lying, whether it's perjury or whatever. I guess it's not true perjury, but certainly just lying. Then
100%. And this is textbook. Like me and you have obviously we've covered this stuff in various forms, conversations, segments, discussions, whatever, for quite a while. So we do know the sort of textbook motive of these people, right? Their sort of modus operandi. The children were plied with drugs and had their lives threatened. Again, this evidence has been uncovered by the Express. So grooming gang whistleblower Maggie Oliver, who's done great work on all of this stuff over her sort of life.
She's amazing.
Told the Express that the case followed, quote, the same pattern she had seen with Greater Manchester Police's cover-up of the Rochdale scandal. Chris Philp chimed in on this. He just out and out accused Khan of being part of a cover-up and called for accountability. He said, it is shameful that the Mayor of London is claiming to have no indication, this is the thing, right? No indication that grooming gangs are operating in London, despite personally responding to reports containing explicit evidence of victims being abused by grooming gangs in the city. Right. So it's clear Sadiq Khan is facilitating a cover-up, which, I mean, it really is, obviously. And there's a little bit of stuff here, right? So, I don't want to go too heavy into this because it is really quite disgusting. This isn't, it's not about like hiding the evidence or not confronting the evidence, all this kind of stuff. We've spoken about this a lot and I don't want to get too into it because it is really quite gross and foul and it just makes your blood boil. So victim one, a 15-year-old girl who told police she'd been raped by numerous men after going missing for 4 days. Victim two men were identified as suspects in sexual exploitation of a 13-year-old. Victim three, a 15-year-old was plied with substances and made to carry out sex acts on men in a hotel room. This is textbook. It's very textbook. So, bloody 2p Lee reform. said that the mayor had serious questions to answer. There's real credible evidence that grooming gangs exist in London, and for the mayor to have potentially turned a blind eye is utterly shameful. It's not just shameful, right? Like, that's barbaric. And as he's the police and crimes commissioner, or head of it, or whatever he is, right? I'm pretty certain it is, if I remember rightly. Correct me. I think that's against the law. Like, I think that's against the law, right? You can't just turn a blind eye to it like that. That's against the law. It must be against the law. There has to be a law you could pull them up on. There has to be. There can't not be a law. So he added that the UK could not go on making the same catastrophic errors we saw in Rochdale, Rotherham, and all over the country, and demanded victims receive proper justice. Now, we'll get your thoughts quickly, because there is a little bit of an update on this. What do you reckon?
Okay, so where you say there must be a law, yeah. I think there's. I might be wrong. Someone in the comments who knows much more about the minutiae of the legal element to this might correct me. But I would have thought that just like in Parliament, the London Assembly, you can't just lie. Like, yeah, you can't just lie. That's the sort of the whole point of it. You're a public official, so you can't just lie. The other thing is, when it's a serious crime like a murder or rape, then there's also the crime of sort of simply not reporting it. Right, that is a crime. Right, if you know, if someone admits to you they did a murder, if you then don't report that to the police, you're guilty by association of it. Right. So I don't know exactly if what Sadiq Khan did or didn't do is at that level, but it's certainly not far off, is it? It's certainly not far off. At what point do you say? At what point can you say that just pretending you haven't seen evidence isn't that? Because if that article is correct, then that does seem what Sadiq Khan did. He pretended he had no knowledge of something. Well, that's not good enough when the crime is a very, very serious crime, violent crime and stuff. So, well, we'll see. But I'm not surprised. One last point to make before you carry on. For years and years, when the Rotherham and Rochdale stuff was breaking, which was years and years ago now, when people said, well, the trend is that wherever there's a Muslim population of any sort of size, you get these grooming gangs. How is it possible, just by common sense, how is it possible that there's nothing going on in London? That doesn't really make any logical sense. That there must be. And so when they always would come out and just say there just simply isn't, no one, certainly on our side of the aisle, believed that for a split second. So the fact that it seems to be, at least in the process of having the veil drawn back from that, it's about time. It's about time. And if Sadiq Khan's career, if not liberty, can be torpedoed in the process, well, I'm all here for it.
Yeah. Well, major update then, I guess. Sadiq Khan humiliated as the Met Police makes huge London grooming gangs U-turn. Yeah, you are right. It's a statistical. It would be a statistical anomaly that there were none in London, obviously. And turns out, actually, the Met Police have a very significant number of active investigations going on around grooming gangs right now, literally right now.
Right.
So much for none being not aware of it. I mean, you're head of the police in London, Khan, you little midget. You're not aware of this. That's not likely, mate, actually. That's not likely at all. Sounds like you may have lied in the London Assembly. Sounds like you obfuscated, shifting around, acting like a petulant child. And what's so egregious about it, fundamentally, is that these are people's lives being obliterated and destroyed. And for what reason did you cover it up? I mean, one could say political, but probably not, because the Muslim population of London isn't actually that high, right? So it's not really a political one. There's not a massive Muslim population in London. Like there are not. It's significant. Don't get me wrong, and but he doesn't need the vote. He doesn't need the Muslim vote in London. He's got all the left wing tards there. So for what reason, right? Like, I don't know.
Well, I can offer a possible explanation.
Oh, please.
The religious, racial, and ethnic sectarian element. Oh, I'm just going to say it. Can I just say it? I'm just going to say it.
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's just got his loyalty is to Muslims.
Yeah.
Not the victims, the white native victims of sex crime and trafficking and kidnap. Essentially, if you're held against your will in a hotel room for 4 days, how is that not a kidnap?
Yeah, true. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is, yeah.
So,
abduction.
So you can only imagine that the calculation in his mind is, what's more important, my loyalty to the Muslim community and Muslim rapists, child gang rapists, or white girls, and he chose the former.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's not evil, I don't know what is. And I don't often use that word. I do only use that word when I think it's actually fitting. But if that isn't real evil, I don't know what is.
Gross. Truly evil, yeah. Truly evil.